So happy to see all of you, the many, many, many of you, the multitudes that are changing America, transforming America, the great populist movement on the rise. And believe me, there's good news coming because there's breakthrough happening on the left and on the right. I think the atmosphere is shifting. The clouds are beginning to break apart. That the hand of God is being made manifest in many ways. We're going to talk to you about in the news cycle today. Mercedes Sparks is with me over here on my left. And ready to go? Are you ready to go today?
Whatever you want to talk about. I'm along for the ride.
Okay. Preparation, people. That's what we do. Intense preparation before these broadcasts. We have all kinds of subjects. And it sounds like it's spontaneous. There's thought that goes into this. I want to start with a bad week for the woke. The bad week for the woke. Liberals suffer a series of brutal setbacks in April. And I just noticed this. But, you know, Jon Stewart started his show. Now, Jon Stewart's watching Bill Maher, and he's remembering the glory days of the Today Show when he made believe he was tilting with the great powers of Obama and Bush, when in fact he was really playing to the liberal audience on themes that, you know, nothing's easier than being in New York or in L.A. with 10 scriptwriters with a well-rehearsed comedy skit that they're all going to laugh at. And of course, you got this group, experience where they're all laughing. And the average American, who outnumbers the left, by the way, they watch these shows and it's like they feel like they're in the minority. And a lot of the psychology of the devil is to make you think that there's nobody else out there. You're by yourself. Why do you think that of all the strategies that Satan hates most, rallies and meetings freak him out? That's why, I see the mischievous endgame of COVID with the shutdown was Trump's rallies and church meetings all had to be disbanded. Strangely enough, the only people that seem to be traveling together in marauding bands were rioters. They had group dynamic, and then the news covered it, and you feel like you're all by yourself. That's what the devil does, makes you think you're alone. Well, the reverse is happening now. The left has no new recruits. They just got to trot out the same old worn-out Antifa outfits and slogans, and the left has to go fund their activists. But there's a movement that's already beginning, and it's multiplying by hundreds of thousands. It will become millions because America is fighting back. And it starts with the ratings for Jon Stewart's show. It cratered. And, of course, he comes out with his super woke, rich white liberals love to come out and rage about white privilege and then try to find someone they could beat up on. But the ratings just show that for some reason, the left has not really been able to capture talk radio, for one thing, or anything even approximating that dynamic. Bill Maher's about as close as you get. And that works for him for a couple of reasons, which we won't go into now. But even he is becoming problematic because he has to constantly go back and educate his own liberal audience that they're losing common sense. And with common sense, they're going to lose elections. CNN Plus, I'm told they put it couldn't be that, $300 million into this. I read $100 million, that makes sense. But CNN Plus, they're going up against Fox Nation and all the digital platforms, Daily Wire. And look, we're out there digitally, and we love it when you guys like and subscribe and you write your comments and you give us those great ratings. We need those great ratings because we got trolls that come and deliberately sabotage us. So we need you to give us our 5-star ratings as a podcast. But CNN was killed. Warner Brothers dropped them. Imagine this. After that hundreds of millions of dollars of rollout, nobody really likes CNN. And so they only had 10,000. Imagine that, 10,000. I've got more people on Twitter than CNN has subscribed to their entire CNN Plus. By the way, the good news is Twitter just TikTok. I have more people on Twitter too. TikTok just reinstated me. And I was exiled off of TikTok. I went into TikTok Siberia, which is the borderland between communist China and Putin's Russia. They stuck me there. And it was just so devastating because I was on a roll there. TikTok is a whole fun little format. And I think we're up to, I don't know how many people, but.
I'm going to go look it up right now. I feel like you had quite a few people. Well, I don't want to give the wrong number. If you just give me 1 second.
Mercedes is a real TikTok enthusiast. I mean, I get TikToks day and night of world events from TikTok.
But it's a great platform. You know why? Because they actually don't censor as much as Facebook and YouTube. You can actually get little snippets, 3-minute clips of actual, it's like a drip campaign for truth. Like it's actual news. So I really
got
like it.
taken off.
Well, no, I know, because everybody reported you. That's why. So like with the way TikTok works is if you don't like somebody, you can go over there and just report their videos, and TikTok automatically, just their algorithm says your account's removed. Then you have to appeal it, and it takes like 3 weeks for them to review it.
Well, we got to do something with that.
Yeah, but
I need you guys to like TikTok. Maybe I need to have counterbalance it with more people that like it.
Well,
like it.
you know, there's so many young people over there. I'm a real believer in TikTok, and I know people hate it. I know people in the comments right now are probably going to be like, nah, TikTok, blah. But there's so many young people over there. So if you have a heart for reaching the next generation for the Lord, that's where they are. If you're under, I think the statistic Barna has, it's like if you're under 16, you have a 1 in 3 chance of accepting the Lord as your savior if you're asked. So if you're over there, there's so many Christian influencers over there. And if you have a heart for that, it's a great place to be. But anyways, I
agree.
Yeah.
And do funny stuff, do witty stuff, do stuff that appeals to the next generation. I wish I had the time, and that's a bad excuse. I just had to focus on how to create those special effects videos because I think they're hilarious.
What special effects videos?
The TikTok is largely effects. You put your own music background. You can have yourself talking to yourself. You could do split screen. You could do all kinds of stuff, which we don't do here because I have a team that does.
Yeah,
this.
you mean the filters.
The filters.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mercedes. The filters. Now, the Obamas were dropped by Spotify. Ratings for Jon Stewart show cratered. CNN dropped their online platform. Alles kaput. Warner Brothers kicked them off. They were losing money. Obamas were dropped by Spotify. I didn't know that.
That's great.
And here, Spotify was having a battle with Joe Rogan for a while, but they stayed together. But the Obamas were dropped. Why were the Obamas dropped by Spotify?
I was going to ask you.
Well,
since you brought it up, I don't know.
Elon Musk, it looks like, and I stand moderately corrected. I said, I don't believe they'll sell. I think they had to sell because the people that own stock would have had justified basis for suing if they didn't sell when Elon Musk was willing to pay, what, $50 for shares, overvalued. And he's doing it for all the right reasons. This isn't a power play for money. It's a power play for freedom. This is when legacy money is worth spending. Sad to say, Bill Gates is doing the same thing. The problem is he's fixated in some kind of nerdy genius way on controlling the world population and vaxxing everyone and monitoring everyone. It's like he's trying to give back, but he can't help himself. However, what is happening is Elon Musk is doing it the right way. And then Jeff Bezos is the first guy that starts some China rumor. Haven't we already had it with Russia? Now Bezos is saying that China is somehow involved with Elon Musk and his takeover of Twitter. You'll have to investigate this, people. Look, all that I do is I put my feelers and my spies out there. But wait a second, Jonathan is here. Jonathan, you're tasked with fact-checking me on that. Find out what Jeff Bezos is coming up with out of billionaire envy over Musk becoming a superhero, like Tony Stark saving democracy, like Iron Man. Okay, but then we've got Disney. Ooh, Disney stock. Did you see? We did our great 10,000 people in the arena thing in Tulsa. We had a giant chart behind our head. I should bring that picture up here in post-editing production. Shows the chart of Disney stock plummeting. Boom. Because they took a real, and then we're not done yet because people are still punishing Disney for going, silly with Mickey. So Disney is experiencing its own pushback, not only corporately, but in the state of Florida. And I love hearing the irrational leftists who say, good, they should just take their whole operation and move it. Do you realize the asset and infrastructure, building and lands that Disney has there? It's just like you just don't move. It's like moving Washington, D.C. to, I don't know, Oakland. It didn't going to happen. So, but you have something to say, Mercedes?
Oh, no, I just looked it up on my phone. But last 6 months, the high was 175. It's right now currently 116. $116.50.
Wow, $116. I'll tell you what there, people.
And dropping.
Is it going to go under 100? Woo, somebody slipped him a Mickey. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So Biden's mask mandate was struck down. Biden's mask mandate was struck down. And, you talk about a losing proposition. People are cheering to get the dang mask off their face. And Biden, I say, keep it up. I'm supporting Joe Biden in his insisting that you put those suffocating and useless masks back on your face where they belong. And so he's fighting for the right to put them back on, or at least for the right, technically, of the CDC to control your life, to overrule governments and Constitution. The World Health Organization has more power than your documents protecting your freedom in America. That's what Biden's fighting for, a true globalist. Joe Biden was also embarrassed by the Easter Bunny. Now, I predicted this. I said this on a Flashpoint episode. I said, can you imagine Donald Trump being interrupted in the Rose Garden with the Easter egg roll, which you were at. You were at the Easter egg roll. Imagine a bunny taking over Trump, stopping him in the middle of a conversation and redirecting him to where he's supposed to go. That bunny would have been, I'll tell you what, it would have been one dead bunny when that was over. So, but even Trump says at his rally, he goes, Biden's, you see this? He's shaking hands with the air. He's walking around bewildered, and then he's taking orders from the Easter Bunny. I knew Trump wouldn't miss that moment.
Are you thinking about clicking away? Don't click away. The whole podcast is over on lancewallnell.com/podcast. Go download the whole thing. Go there. They're there every day. The full uncensored truth just for you. Catch it over there.
You know, if you're like me, you're listening to all these technological input. Now, I'm a baby boomer. I admit that. I'm on the north side of a lot of baby boomers. I'm in my 60s, and ExpressVPN starts popping up on my devices and making a compelling argument that I need to have security. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not exactly even sure what I'm VPNing. So I contact my team because I've got a crack group of producers and technical people that run this whole program. And Chelsea now is going to help me understand, what does ExpressVPN do, Chelsea? And why are we putting this on our phones and on our computers and in our office?
Well, the reason I started using an ExpressVPN personally was because every time you go online, you go on the internet, they're taking your data and stealing it, right? Like they're taking your data, they're selling it to this company, that company. Google's selling. Google, Facebook, whoever owns Twitter, all those people. Anytime you go on there and like you go into Google and you type in what you're searching for, they take that and they sell it. And they start using that to track you, track your friends. That's why if you have a conversation, like if I have a conversation with Mercedes about slippers, she Googles slippers. Well, I'm going to start getting ads for slippers because they see how much time we spend together. And so what ExpressVPN does is it anonymizes you on the internet. So if she goes online with the ExpressVPN turned on her phone, it's real simple, then Google can't track her Googling for slippers.
Oh, is it like another browser though, Chelsea?
No, it's not another browser. It's actually super simple. I didn't realize it was so simple when I downloaded it. So you just download it as an app on your phone and you turn it on and it runs in the background.
Oh.
But it is protecting you.
Yeah, it is protecting you. Yeah, it's super easy. I can even show you on my phone. So I turn it on and I open up the ExpressVPN app and you see green, it's turned on. So anytime you text someone, like even when I'm like texting Mercedes, like, hey, this, that, blah, 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 it's not tracking it. It's not taking that data. ExpressVPN.com/Lance, and you can get all these valuable hacks as well. And you're going to be able to protect your data and your privacy, which is increasingly important as we see the beast system approach.